Welcome back to the Boys Gurus Boys Report. OTAs are coming up, and a lot of the discussion with the off season, and then also coming into the OTAs, was and still is and will remain to be the connection between Roy Williams and Tony Romo, and Roy Williams having to take T.O.'s place and be that number one superstar stud receiver for the offense to be successful. And when looking at it from that perspective, that's wrong. That is not the key to the successful season. It's not the key for the offense. The key to the offense really is getting a balance all around. Rushing the ball, passing the ball, and utilizing the collective talent that we have on the offense. We're not a one-trick pony. We don't have to rely on one guy. We have talent, okay? Roy Williams is just one piece of that. And he's not even the lead receiver, and he's not going to be. T.O. wasn't even the lead receiver when he was here. That guy is Jason Witten. And Witten and Romo will always have that bond, just like in Indy you have Harrison with Manning. Of course, Harrison's not there anymore, but that was the connection, and Wayne was just fine being the other guy and putting up numbers and doing just fine. And that's, you don't have to, he doesn't have to be that guy. He doesn't have to be T.O. T.O. a year ago didn't even hit 70 catches, barely got 10 TDs. He got 10 TDs, which is great. But he had 200-yard games, and one of which was the last game against Philly, where Jason Witten, threw that ad hoc pass, and he got he eclipsed the 100-yard marker in that game. It wasn't really a true 100-yard game. His impact wasn't nearly what it was 2 years ago, when the offense just was blowing things up. But we have all sorts of weapons, and we have a running game. We have to utilize everybody. Miles Austin, let's utilize him. Let's send him deep. He proved pretty darn good going across the middle and doing some run after the catch stuff. Patrick Creighton 2 years ago, 50 catches at 7 TDs, 500 yards or so. Actually, I think he had more than that off the top of my head. But the bottom line here is that we're not going to have the inefficiencies, hopefully, that still remains to be seen, the inefficiencies on the offense of catering to one particular individual. You lose yourself when you do that. You have to have your offensive philosophy based on everybody. And the X factor on the offense isn't even Roy Williams. He isn't even the key to the offense, as much as people want to think that. The key to the offense really is running the ball and running it frequently, and grinding teams out and using Barber in the right role. Have Choice kind of soften them up, and then sprinkle in Felix Jones and his explosiveness here and there. It's not mixing things up and throwing a wildcat in there. It's not being fancy. It's not catering to Roy Williams and giving him all the T.O. touches. It's not that. It's spreading it out. And then not only that, you got the real X factor here is Martellus Bennett. It's not Roy Williams. Martellus Bennett is a matchup nightmare. So you put Roy Williams on one side, okay? He's going to be on that strong side. He's not going to get the double teams because teams have to worry about Jason Witten. So you put those two on the same side. You have a Miles Austin, for example, who they probably would expect to take that second receiver, although I still think Creighton's going to have that. On the other side, he has that deep ability to take that free safety away. And then you get a guy like Martellus Bennett, who's huge, nimble, agile, that's going to be matched up on a linebacker. And that matchup is huge. There's a big target like that. He's going to kill teams this year. I'm telling you right now. He's going to kill teams this year utilizing him over the middle. You can even, red zone. He had the same amount of touchdowns as Jason Witten last year. And he came on, as the season went on, you could just see him just blossom right before our very eyes, and that's going to continue. And then you have a guy like Felix Jones and Choice and Barber who are more than capable to catch the ball out of the backfield and do something with it. Especially Jones, the screen pass, we're going to be able to do that tight end screens to Bennett. I mean, give me a break. I mean, we got some serious ability here. So don't measure the offense and the productivity on the basis of Roy Williams' numbers. If he has a 65 catch season for 800 yards and 7 TDs, don't think of it as a failure if a guy like Martellus Bennett bumps up from 20 to 40 catches and tacks on a couple hundred more yards, and then you have a guy like Creighton improving upon his 39 catches, and then not even to factor in Miles Austin, who could factor in 40 catches. So you spread it out, you give the defenses more to think about, and you become a better offense in total. In today's NFL, people think that you're not a good receiver if you're not catching 90 to 100 balls. T.O. never caught more than 85 balls here in Dallas, and he was just fine. He got a lot of TDs. He was a big play guy, but Williams can do that. In the red zone, we have all sorts of options. The fade route with Roy Williams, he's damn good at that. He's better than Owens with that. So just expect him not to carry the offense, but if he can have a solid season with Witten and Bennett doing the things on the middle, we're going to be fine. We're going to be just fine. There's no worries here. The key to the season isn't Roy Williams. He's just a cog in the machine, and he's going to do just fine as a cog in the machine and not the machine itself, not the whole machine. So when you look at it from that perspective. Don't look at it as Williams only got 67 catches. Say, okay, Bennett has this many catches, or Austin has this many catches, and how many turnovers are we going to be reduced to without Romo having to force the ball and having that ego to fill? Think of it that way. How many yards of field position are we going to save? Not chucking interceptions and putting our defense in a bind. Think of it from the big picture perspective, not from the individual fantasy football numbers that Owens definitely put up. So keep that in mind. We're going to do a little more focusing on the keys to the season. The offense and replacing T.O. is not one of them. That is not one of the keys to the season. A bigger key is the collective and the maturation of Romo from a one-trick pony quarterback or two-trick pony to spreading it out and really utilizing all the weapons at his disposal, not just a couple. Peace.